Great Phil Edwards, who in his time possessed surfing talents far superior to anyone else, used to tease us, he used to say, it's not about riding the wave. The best thing about surfing is talking about it afterwards. But in a sense, he was right, because those actual moments on the wave are, well, they're so very brief and also so fleeting that only by talking about them afterwards can they really be looked at, examined and maybe understood. In Hawaii, the Hawaiians say and believe that there's a story for and about everything. They call it the mo'olelo. And, they didn't have a written language, so it was only by talking story that the traditions, the history, the lessons were passed from one generation to the next. So this book is a collection of short talking story pieces, starting with my first wave, 10 years old, Waikiki, and through the whole of my career until the present. Of course, they're not all the stories. I'm actually working on the second book right now. But I entitled the book Surf is Where You Find It because not only have I found waves in a lot of different oceans, but I've also found waves in a few places without oceans. And I've met a number of surfers who've never ridden a wave. A lot of the top surf photographers contributed images to help illustrate each of the stories.
This is the famous Lawn Point, Jack. One of the heaviest waves I know on the coast. It's Lawn Point. It's where I grew up. Well, actually I didn't grow up. I just grew older. And we're in an easterly swell, which is an onshore conditions, and it sets up pretty fun waves. Nowhere else on the coast you can surf really like this.
Well, that's surfing. It's different, difficult, forever appealing, somewhat irreverent, a little bit funny. But it's a never-ending education, and the lessons don't always come easily. Wisdom's a funny thing. I think it's that quality that keeps you out of situations where you need it. And I think I've found that wisdom doesn't necessarily come with age. Sometimes age comes all by itself. Wisdom's always there in surfing. Guy who holds the cat by the tail, it's like surfing. You learn something that you can learn in no other way. And some people pick up on that wisdom right away. Others never get it. But most people figure out something along the way. It takes a long time to do that, but it's there. And the last 23 years, I've actually snowboarded quite a bit, and 20 of them spent living up in the mountains away from the sea. And I found that snowboarding and skiing is really great fun, but in my opinion, infinitely more dangerous than surfing. And I have tremendous respect for both the mountains and the ocean, and I find that they instill in me a great sense of spiritualness. There's been many mornings looking at that freshly snow-covered mountainside, or maybe some nice waves peeling through an empty lineup, feeling that I was really in the presence of something holy, something divine. But there's a difference that I've observed in riding mountains as opposed to riding waves. the mountain holds still for the ride. You know, surfing happens on a landscape, or actually a seascape that's completely in motion. In the waves, everything's always moving. This is why surfing is such a great metaphor for life, because life doesn't hold still for us. If we don't move with it, life just passes us right by and leaves us behind. And surfing, you know, teaches you to be in that moment spontaneously and go with the flow smoothly, and that's how you get the most out of the wave. It's also how you get the most out of life.
I'll share my heart.
It was great out there. I didn't know Victoria had point breaks. Almost like a Queensland point break. You got one, and you just rode over the horizon. Had fun.
Super fun?
Super fun.